Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are analyzing 3 articles about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock. The first article is titled, PLTR stock pops as Palantir wins Army AI/ML contract, and if you are on the up and up on Palantir Technologies, you probably already know that they have won this contract, but I'm going to tell you what this means for their future. Up next, our next article we are going to be analyzing is a deeper dive into this contract and what it means for the future share price of this company, which is much more than originally meets the eye. After that, we will conclude the video by talking about an analyst who has correctly predicted Palantir's drop during recent times, and he has recently revealed a new price target, so we will be analyzing whether or not this analyst is credible and where I see the future price of this company in the future based upon their upcoming catalysts. So for more news updates on Palantir Technologies, don't forget to go and annihilate that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. Let's start off talking about Palantir popping in their overall share price due to this new contract. Palantir recently rose by around 6% after announcing a win of a $250 million contract which lasts for around 3 years, which relates to artificial intelligence, also known as AI, as well as machine learning, which has the acronym ML. And of course, this is going to be with the US Army and its special forces, as well as other segments of the US Army. And Palantir has been working hand in hand with the United States Army in regards to artificial intelligence models since 2018, and they have focused on government contracts ever since they have founded the company, and Palantir is over 2 decades old. So Palantir has a great relationship with the Army, especially in terms of the United States Army and our allies. Currently, the PLTR stock is trading at around $18.08, but it can go much higher. Right now, I'm going to quote directly from this article, which perfectly elaborates why investors may see a further surge in their overall share price. And it says, and I quote, "While many investors came to Palantir for AI this year, they may be staying for its military contracts. This follows Hamas's attack on Israel over the weekend and the war Israel launched in response. While Israel's reliance on technology was criticized after the attack, that's unlikely to change. Neither will that of the US military." And if you didn't know, the United States military is sending over some reinforcements to Israel to support them because after all, they are our allies. In response to not only Palantir Technologies gaining this fantastic contract, which we will talk about more in the next article, we also see that war happening over in the Middle East is moving share prices here over in the United States. That's why military contractors such as Palantir Technologies, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and many others are increasing in their overall share prices. So right now may be a good time to invest into a government contractor ETF or any of these companies mentioned here so you can take advantage of the surge in their overall share prices. Palantir has worked hard to diversify their various income streams between both commercial enterprises as well as government contracts. We just went over that they won a $250 million contract, which we're about to dive in a little deeper into when we move to the next article, but they also won that PwC contract, and they could potentially win that $579 million deal with the United Kingdom's NHS, which is their National Health Service. There is so much good news happening right now for Palantir Technologies, it's really the perfect storm. That's why I think investors can see more potential gains for Palantir as well as other government contractors as both the war between Russia and Ukraine rages on, and the same goes for the war over in Israel and Hamas. So please keep a lookout for that because it can cause the United States stock market to be quite volatile. However, if you want to help Ukraine or Israel, investing into these government contractors is one way to do that, and you're also going to get paid from this because their share prices should go up due to these terrible wars. Next, let's move on and talk specifically about Palantir's contract with the United States military. For instance, this contract is going to be in support of the combatant commands as well as the armed services, intelligence community, and special forces as they continue to test, utilize, and scale artificial intelligence, also known as AI, as well as machine learning, which stands for ML capabilities. And like we mentioned, this contract is worth up to $250 million over the next 3 years, ending in December of 2026. This is such good news that the president of Palantir USG even commented by saying, and I quote, "We are honored to expand our partnership with the Army to continue delivering the most innovative technologies and advanced data applications across the the armed services. He goes on to say, maturing new concepts for how we deploy solutions in different contexts is key to maintaining our nation's competitive advantage, and we appreciate the opportunity to support this mission. Very well said, and again, I love how Palantir does business with the United States as well as US allies. There's no reason for a company like Palantir or even other companies to do business elsewhere, and that is one of the plethora of reasons why I personally am invested into Palantir Technologies PLTR stock. However, you should be aware that I do not advocate for more than a 5% initial portfolio allocation into any singular risky growth company. That means if your portfolio is worth $100,000, you have the maximum amount of $5,000 to invest into Palantir either all at once or over time, and for me, I like to do it over time by dollar cost averaging, because that way my average cost basis gets lowered over time, making it a better long-term buying opportunity. And this is just one of the many risk management principles that I have in place. And also in the new year, I'm going to be showing you all every 2 weeks my personal portfolio and how it is interacting with the current stock market and what I am doing to get gains all year long. So look forward to those updates once we go into the new year. Also, don't forget to comment down below if you would be interested in seeing one of my 5 portfolios, which is specifically going to be designed for a YouTube portfolio regarding companies that I talk about quite often and why I invest into them and take profits during certain times. So if you want to see my actual track record for that portfolio, don't forget to comment down below because that's going to be coming soon. Lastly, let's talk about an analyst who has correctly predicted Palantir's most recent drop and why he gave a new price target. Palantir Technology stock has surged in the second quarter due to growing optimism surrounding artificial intelligence and the various contracts that they are winning from various government agencies as well as commercial clients. However, their shares have underperformed during mid-July ever since September, dropping from around $20 to $14, but now they're back around $18 per share currently. And this sell-off was no surprise to a real money analyst who has been an analyst for over 50 years. However, just predicting one stock price movement is not necessarily the same as you knowing every single stock price movement. Clearly, people can get lucky, and let me just prepare you for this. No one can consistently predict short-term price fluctuations in a single stock, nor the general stock market. That's why we need to make long-term price predictions based off of data and evidence and historical accounting ratios, so we actually have data to go off of. However, I don't want to take anything away from this analyst. He has been an analyst for over 50 years, so let's see what he has. After predicting a sell-off in Palantir Technologies, which he correctly predicted, he recently updated his analysis to include a new stock price target. But before we dive into that, let's give you some context surrounding Palantir Technologies, which of course is a big data and analytics company, which is focusing on machine learning as well as artificial intelligence. And currently, artificial intelligence is reshaping how people work and how businesses operate. Right now, the stock market is going through a gold rush of sorts to where artificial intelligence is on par with the internet age back in the 1990s and the 2000s bubble. However, many investors don't believe that we are in a bubble right now, and I tend to agree with them. I do think that there are some companies that are rather hyped up on artificial intelligence, but overall, we are not in bubble territory according to the numbers. Now, artificial intelligence is paramount for the future of the economy and the future of the stock market for a plethora of reasons. So let's talk about a few of them right now. For instance, finance companies are developing artificial intelligence programs to hedge their risks, evaluate various types of loans depending on the risks of those loans, and they are also using it to price their products and services. In another aspect, we see healthcare companies investing heavily into machine learning and artificial intelligence to predict drug targets, as well as produce better pharmaceuticals and predict clinical trial outcomes. We also see manufacturers seeking to use artificial intelligence to boost their overall productivity as well as the quality that they can make at a large scale. So artificial intelligence is helping a plethora of various types of companies, including retailers, who are using this technology to forecast demand and even manage inventories through supply chain. And luckily, Palantir is an expert in providing solutions that make sense of vast quantities of data, as well as use artificial intelligence to their advantage, and they do this for both commercial enterprises as well as government agencies. The demand for artificial intelligence products is literally off the charts, to where the CEO of Palantir Technologies, who is Alex Karp, or Alexander Karp, said, and I quote, "The demand for AIP, which is Palantir's artificial intelligence platform, is unlike anything we have seen in the past 20 years. We are currently in discussions with more than 300 additional enterprises to deploy AIP within their organizations, all of which are searching for an effective and secure means of adapting the latest large language models for use on their internal systems and proprietary data, end quote. So this is huge, and this means that the future of Palantir is anticipated to be very strong because they have potentially 300 more contracts coming just for their artificial intelligence platform without considering their other platforms that they are using with the United States government. So the potential for Palantir to land more deals is huge, and it's honestly only a matter of time. It's not if they are going to land these deals, but when they will land these deals, which has fueled investor optimism as well as Wall Street optimism overall. That's why a 5-star analyst named Daniel Ives, who I personally follow, he is one of the few good analysts out there because the majority of the analysts are absolutely garbage, and they have terrible price targets and forecasts which rarely come true, but Dan Ives is another breed. He is very accurate. He's a 5-star analyst, meaning he ranks in the top 2% of all analysts, and from my studies, he is one of the best in my opinion, and he has a $25 price target on Palantir Technologies, which he believes they could achieve over the next 12 months. So clearly he believes that these contracts are just going to keep flooding into the company. On top of that, we also know that Palantir is set to report around $555 million in quarter 3, representing an 18% surge from 1 year ago in regards to their overall revenues. On top of that, for the full year, Palantir's revenue is anticipated to be around $2.2 billion this year, equating to a 16% increase from last year. And for 2024, it's supposed to be even higher at $2.63 billion, which equates to a 19% CAGR instead of a 16% CAGR, which is a big increase. But now let's talk about this other analyst who correctly predicted that Palantir's PLTR share price would drop in price. And when we read later in the article, we know that this analyst is actually a technical analyst, and I am not a big fan of technical analysis. But let's see what he has. After reviewing Palantir's daily and weekly charts, he had a new insight on Palantir's PLTR stock, to where he says, and I quote, "Shares declined sharply in August, but managed to regroup in September and make a short-term upside breakout in October." He goes on to say, "The on-balance volume, or OBV, has been strong and is at or close to a new high for the move up. A rising OBV line tells me that traders of Palantir have been more aggressive buyers than sellers. The moving average convergence divergence, or the MACD oscillator, is now crossing above the zero line for an outright buy signal." So both of these are very positive signals, according to him, regarding the OBV as well as the MACD. And this is just technical jargon for technical analysis, and essentially you just need to take away that these are very positive regarding the psychology of investors who are buying into Palantir Technologies right now, which is very bullish and positive for the overall share price, because as demand increases and supply decreases, that's going to move the share price higher. This analyst went on to say, "In the weekly Japanese candlestick chart of Palantir, I see a mixed picture. The shares have turned upwards recently, but the trading volume has not expanded within the price rise. Old time chart readers, present company included, find that bothersome. A breakout over $20 on strong volume is needed to convince me that prices have launched a new leg higher." So essentially, he's just saying that there is bullishness surrounding Palantir Technologies, but he doesn't think that it's going to move above $20 unless we get strong volume. However, of course that's the case. Clearly, it's not going to move above $20 unless we have strong buying volume here. So that's really kind of just a no-brainer, useless comment. However, I think if the NHS contract comes in, yes, we could see this company reach $20 per share. Nevertheless, this investor and analyst cautions people around Palantir Technologies until they clear $20. But I don't really see the point of this. Ideally, we would want to invest before it gets to $20 and then surges. Why wait after it surges and then invest into the company? This is completely backwards in my opinion, but I would love to hear your thoughts down below. With that being said, this is a very positive news update for Palantir investors and stockholders, and I can't wait to see what they can make of themselves in the future. As always, remember to go and annihilate that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, don't forget to become a member of this channel for as little as 99 cents to support me personally so I can keep making videos just like this one for you, and with that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.